What if I told you you could still get a single family house under $700,000 in the San Fernando Valley? On today's episode, we're featuring our newest listing to hit the market in Sylmar, California at 13967 Herron Street. Now this home is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and is listed at $650,000. And then in this video, we're going to be covering with you the story of Sylmar, the story of this house, and stay tuned to the end. We're going to show you what you need to know if you decide you want to build a detached ADU on this property. Let's get this home tour started. Guys, again, we're here in Sylmar, California. So Sylmar, California, if you're not familiar with it, is about 25 miles north of downtown Los Angeles. This home is pretty close to the 210 freeway. The main cross streets here are Foothill and Hubbard. So there's a lot of things to do here in Sylmar, especially if you have a family. There are 2 places that you're gonna wanna check out. Now the first is the Wildlife Learning Center. That's about 3 miles away from this home. This is a great place, especially if you have younger kids and maybe you don't wanna spend the whole entire day at the zoo. Well, you can actually go check this place out. They have rescue animals, wild animals here, everything from bald eagles to foxes and so many different types of reptiles. It's a really neat place to go check out. My family's personal favorite is the sloth. All right, so in addition to that, then there's the Discovery Cube, which is a really big favorite in my family since I have younger kids, and they could spend almost all day there if they could. And it's a place very similar to a children's science museum. They have a whole different toys, exhibits, and things that the kids can be able to learn from. And there's a huge park adjacent to it, including Hansen Dam. One of my favorite food trucks in all of Los Angeles, and always rated as one of the top taco trucks in Los Angeles on Yelp, is Mi Ranchito, and they're located also here on Foothill Boulevard in front of the Bank of America. All right guys, so now we're in this home. Again, this home, 2 bedrooms, 720 square feet on a lot that's just over 5,500 square feet, and the list price, $649,950. So one thing that's really cool about this house is that the owner actually had the same tenant in here for nearly 30 years. And we're gonna talk a little more about the house in detail in a bit. So when you come in here, right, this is your living room area. They put in this new luxury vinyl plank flooring. You have the wood paneling on the side, and then you have the old school look with the beam ceilings on top. Right, so again, this is your living area. This is where you're gonna have your TV. You could probably make it into a small little dining area. There's enough space for that. And this opens to your kitchen. So they got rid of the old tile counters, right? And they put in a brand new quartz countertop. Notice how the veins on the quartz countertop, they have these gold brownish veins, really combine well with the luxury vinyl plank flooring down below, right? So it's a really nice touch, because you really have to think about that when you're putting in a countertop. You know, if the veins are going to be too big, is it going to stand out too much? Is it going to combine as well with the flooring that you end up going with or currently have? So if you have a freestanding gas range with your 4-burner gas cooktop, and then over here, this is going to take us to another room. Most people will probably use this as a dining room, but you can kind of have it almost like as a little bit of a flex room, more or less, because you know, all the time that you think of what we see in new construction. So here, this is a great opportunity to kind of decide how you want to use this space. Maybe you use it like as a little mini office, maybe like as an extra den, but it's an opportunity for you to decide how you want to actually use it. All right, then here are the windows. I just want to show you these. This house has brand new windows that were put in less than a month ago, right? And so this room over here, This room could be made into a bedroom, so technically it's not. I would say this would probably be the room that you'd put your little office in right here, right? And I think a lot of people would probably use it that, kind of like a small little work area, because it's not huge. Again, you only have 720 square feet in the entire house. And then over here, this is where your bathroom for the home is going to be. This is a full bath. You have your shower in tub. The luxury vinyl plank flooring continues into this bathroom. They put on a new counter, getting rid of the old cruddy tile counter that they used to have. And then they also definitely cleaned up the tub here and make sure that it was re-glazed and really nicely done. Leaving the bathroom, we're gonna cross the kitchen again, and this is gonna take us to our first bedroom, right? So this is your first bedroom over here, right? And so again, with the beam ceilings, you can see the newer windows again. And one thing I wanted to point out to you is that the fact that it's a newer roof, they put that roof on less than a year ago. So you have new paint on the exterior and the interior. You have a new roof, you have new windows. So this is closer to a move-in ready house after the work that they've actually done. Hey guys, Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Been selling real estate here in Southern California for 20 years. As always, if you're looking to buy a home, reach out to us for the 5 things that you need to know about buying a home right now here in Southern California. It's a crazy market out there, so you really need to have the right person in your corner to kind of help navigate that and kind of sit you down to let you know what it takes to have your offer accepted in this crazy market, especially now that as interest rates are going down. You really have to have the right real estate agent. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to tell you today was about the story of this house, right? So stay tuned for the end. We're gonna walk you through of kind of what it would take to actually build a detached ADU or a detached property on this home, right? But for now, I wanted to tell you about the story of this house. So the story of this house goes that the owner, she's currently in her 90s right now, and her son at the time actually owned the house next door. Well, the house, this one right here, was such a mess. I mean, it was in really bad shape. It was completely dilapidated. And I think that's probably the nicest word in the English language that you could probably use to describe it according to the seller. So she said that, well, it would be really nice to actually be able to buy this property, rehab it, and at least kind of make the neighborhood look a little better. So that's what they did. They bought it, they fixed it up, they made it look really nice. And check this out, they ended up with the same tenant for 30 years. They bought this home right around the 1994 earthquake. So they literally had the same tenant in here for that period of time. And now it's just time for the seller to sell it. The son no longer lives next door. It just makes sense. Again, you know, she's in her 90s. So kind of pretty cool to kind of hear how they actually decided to acquire this property and the fact that you actually had the same tenant in there for 30 years. So this is why investing in real estate really makes sense. Leaving the first bedroom, here we go again, right through the living room / maybe dining room area. So this will take us to the second bedroom. Again, there's just 2 bedrooms in this home, right? So this one, again, decent size for the size of the home, and you can take it very clean. You can see the new paint, the new windows. You have a nice closet here. Nothing extravagant, really simple. But again, you know, this is a 2-bedroom house right here. So that gives you an idea of what the house looks like. So again, this is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and again, just 720 square feet. But that's how they built homes in the 30s, right? This home was built in the early 1930s. All right, let's go outside. Now that we've seen the entire interior of the house, let's go outside, and can't wait to show you a bunch of things outside. Okay, so now that we've seen the entire inside of the house, let me know in the comments below what you think of this home and what you would do to the house if you moved in here. So before we take a look at the rest of the lot, you have this detached structure right over here, right? So this detached structure over here, come on in, I'll show you what it's all about. So in here, the way it's set up is that you could have the laundry right here. So this is where all the laundry hookups are, right here, right in this room. Okay, so you have two choices, right? So they currently have it set up in this detached structure. And then if you wanted to, you could put it in, the plumbing in one of those rooms over there. So if you didn't want to have to come out here, me personally, even though I have small kids and whatnot, maybe it's not the most convenient, I would probably keep the laundry in here, to be honest with you, because then you could be able to utilize a lot more space in the house itself. Come on, let's go take a look at this lot here. So I want to show you this lot right here, okay? So this lot is just over 5,500 square feet. Check out the nice fruit tree. You have this long driveway, so you could be able to really park all of your vehicles in here. A lot of people do that here in the neighborhood, especially if you have commercial vehicles, you have a boat, you have an RV. But I think what's really going to appeal to a lot of people, even though this lot is only 5,500 square feet, you have plenty of room here to build another structure on this property. Maybe it's a second house, maybe it's an ADU, but most people are going to probably go the ADU route. So we promised you at the beginning of the video, we were going to show you kind of what it was going to look like if you wanted to build an ADU on this property, right? And so if the plant size really exceeds that of the primary dwelling, this is important to remember, the ADU size is limited to a maximum of 800 square feet. So since this home is only 720 square feet, the max size you could build for a detached home, right, is 800 square feet. So that's really important to know. So when it comes to building an ADU, right, an 800 square foot ADU is going to be a pretty decent sized ADU. Now, a lot of you are asking, like, well, how much does it cost to build? And I would say, you're probably looking between $350 to $400 a square foot. Remember, you're going to have an architect, you're going to have your plans, you're going to have a separate meter, right, on the house here for both gas and water, because you're looking at a separate detached structure on that. So I would say right now the going rate for construction costs here in Los Angeles is about $350 to $400, and it all depends on what type of finishes you have. If you go something really simple, then yeah, it's probably going to be closer to that $350, $360. But if you're going to do what a lot of people normally do, is you're going to probably make it look new. Obviously, you're going to try to be able to obtain as much rent as possible if you're looking to rent it out, or maybe you want to have something nice for another family member, then yeah, you're probably going to be inching towards that $400 a square foot mark right now. So hey, let me know in the comments below, like, if you would put an ADU on this property. Did you ever wonder about where Sylmar actually got its name from? Well, you could actually trace it to the 18th century and the founding of the San Fernando mission. And you have to go back to 1890, where there was a huge olive production, and that's where it began here in Sylmar. And so the Sylmar climate was considered healthy, and so they actually built a sanitarium was actually established here. And that was the first in a series of hospitals in the neighborhood, if you can actually believe that. So back in the late 1800s, you had up to 1,700 acres of land planted with olive trees. So that's why you see so many places here in Sylmar that have the word olive embedded in its name, and that's the reason why. So kind of a little bit of history there in today's video. In 1893, the name changed from Morningside to Sylmar, and that's a fusion of two Latin words for forest and sea, in reference to the large number of olive trees that once covered the area. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. So hope you enjoyed today's home tour. If you want a private showing of our newest listing, definitely reach out to us. Hope you learned a little bit about the city of Sylmar, as well as the story of this house, and of course, what it takes to actually build an ADU here in Southern California, a detached ADU. All right, so if you have any questions more in detail about ADUs, give me a call. We work with a lot of clients that build ADUs, so we can give you a lot more detailed information. If you're looking looking for a home where you can build an ADU, definitely reach out to us and let us show how we can help you with that. If you have any questions about this home or any other, feel free to reach out to us. Again, I'm Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. We'll see you on the next home tour.